Hey everyone, this is Nick from Mecha Warehouse, and today we're back with another minion interview per se. I'm here with Kate, my wife, my better half, and perhaps the real reason that Mecha Warehouse has been successful so far. Kate joined our team as our unofficial employee number 1 last summer, or maybe perhaps really like employee number 0 since she's been here, since the very beginning. And back somewhere last summer, things got really kind of crazy for me, and I kind of cried out for help, so to speak, maybe more literally than I'd like to admit. And yeah, she's been with us since the beginning, and kind of is what helps make all this stuff happen. So welcome, Kate.
Hi guys, this is Kate from Mecha Warehouse.
So let's start off with do you remember that probably late evening, like 1 a.m. or whatever it was last summer, when we're in the attic, the Mecha attic.
Yes.
And I said, like, I need help. I think that was probably literally my words, and I probably didn't add anything else to it, and then you jumped in and saved the day. So what?
Okay, I vaguely remember probably some yelling, probably some stomping, and just general frustration. And I don't know, it's always my reaction when you get into a certain mood. I want to help, whether it's with brownies or cookies or just helping you get stuff done. Yeah. So yeah, we probably had a talk about how I could help, and there were a lot of carrying boxes. I don't know which night specifically. Was this when you got the laptop out and we were like, all right, you're going to learn how to put in orders?
Maybe,
or what?
Maybe. I don't know
what the first thing was you had me
do. I don't exactly remember. I think probably the first thing was keeping track of all and helping pull stuff from our backup stock room, right? We had one half of the attic was all the excess stuff. You had the Excel spreadsheet, and you could go into it and figure out what box of our 50 boxes full of excess kits, which one they were in. That was probably the very first thing that you did, was helping with that, and then helping with purchase orders and stuff.
At some point.
Yeah, doing all the inventory check-in. And
that was the first thing that I did up there.
Yeah. And it probably quickly went to...
You even built the packing station by yourself. I don't think I was involved in that.
Yeah, I think that's true.
And I hadn't really been up there all that much, and I didn't really know what all these boxes were and what was happening. There was just a lot of stuff moving in and out. And
yeah. Crazy times. Yeah, so that was... So let's backtrack a bit from there then. And so I started business technically in 2018, right? When I started doing the books and all that stuff, I was really frustrated with work.
Yes, that I remember.
And all that stuff. Yeah, definitely remember that. And it was it probably felt like to you, like it was another one of my dreams of the minute, right? I was constantly coming up with the next thing I was going to do and what was going to happen next. So what do you remember, if anything in particular went through your mind with this dream of the minute, where you're like, oh, this isn't going to happen, or he's going to get frustrated and do something else, or what did you think?
Selling books on Amazon?
Yeah.
That part of it?
Yeah, let's start there, and then...
I don't know, I guess like everything, I try to understand what your plan is, and if it's going to make you happy. I mean, I don't know, that seemed to be the biggest thing, was that you were just really, really unhappy pretty consistently with a lot of different things that you had tried. Mm-hmm. We'd seen that this is going to be the thing that changes, and this is why, and then it would always come back around that it was still not really what you wanted.
Right.
With all the engineering stuff, consulting.
Yeah. Right.
There was always that explanation of, well, I think it's going to be better because ... and then
generally it wasn't.
And so that's always my fear, is that you get this great idea and it's like, okay, it sounds good, but is it going to make you happy ultimately? And
right.
So I don't know, I think it was a process.
Yes.
Just kind of seeing, okay, what do you want to do? How much is this going to cost? And how deep is this experiment going to go until we know whether you're happy?
Right.
And
yeah, so that takes us, I guess, forward to when I started buying. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go on Alibaba or whatever it was and find a way to get Gundams from Japan. Right. And I started filling up the hallway and spending real money on stuff.
Yep.
What What changed for you then?
Yeah.
Did you did you think it was more than a minute at that point, or did you think I was about to waste our life savings on plastic?
Had a vision that this was going to come of all of that. I guess I thought it was possible, right? Because I agreed to let you do all this crazy stuff. I don't know. I guess we just kind of did a little bit at a time what made sense at the time.
Right.
And we didn't know where it was going to go or how far we were going to get, but we had to try it. Was kind of how we looked at it.
Yeah, so they all felt about it.
Yeah, and I felt that too from you, that it was like it was worth trying, and I think we were pretty logical about it. Like, you don't just make stupid impulsive decisions. We talked about it,
usually.
And we talked about the math of like how much we're going to set aside and spend, and we're going to like try this and see if it works and goes anywhere, and if it doesn't, then we'll be out the money, but it's okay because this is our limit or whatever.
Right. But I feel like I'm going down memory lane here, and this is kind of fun.
It is.
So the next step was we had the hallway, the Mecha hallway, which was like this narrow, thin space you had to kind of like shuffle through to get through.
You do not like doing that.
I don't like doing that at all. And the stairs up to the attic were filled with stuff, and we at some point decided that the attic was the next move because we needed more space. The attic was unfinished. We had space up there.
We had like moved everything out of the hallway to clear more space, but it just
and it was conveniently before the pandemic and couldn't have been at a better time for us. So I guess how did that thought process go? Like, because I don't know if we probably just rarely talked about it because we do that. We just chat about things. You're like my sounding board for all my crazy ideas. Yep. And we were going to finish the attic and insulate it and all that stuff.
We had always talked about being able to finish the attic at some point. So it wasn't anything shocking that we might want to do that.
Feel shocked that I wanted to spend all the money on it right then, right there?
Not really, because
really?
It wasn't like I have this dream and I must make it happen and I'm going to overtake the attic to do it. It was more, I don't know, you're probably more delicate and you have a lot of experience convincing me of all your ideas.
Good salesmanship. So for anyone watching, if you have trouble, like your spouse won't let you buy like another kit or something like this is how you do it. You got to gradually convince them and figure out how to read them, and then it's not a big deal. Yeah. So then we finished the attic. That was a fun like month in December or whatever.
We knew we had planned to do it eventually. We knew it needed to get the insulation work done, and that was going to be the main thing, was the temperature control, because we didn't want to spend all this money and then stick it somewhere that it was going to get ruined or whatever. So we had to.
And then probably the next big thing after that was probably our first purchase after COVID happened. Our first big one, right? Everything shut down in June, I want to say, and it was probably somewhere in June that I placed the big order with our main supplier, Bluefin, and it was like a pull significant money out of your house kind of order, because that was it like our 4 or 5 pallets we got? You remember that shipment when it showed up? You'd probably help me carry most of it up. You probably wrote all the purchase orders and paperwork for it, and that was the one that got Bluefin to be like, oh, Mecha Warehouse is a business, and we want to deal with you guys. We don't want to ignore you. Do you remember feeling, I want to say there was at least a little resistance when I was like, so yeah, I'm going to pull like a whole, like enough money to buy a nice car out of our house and spend it on plastic.
I'm sure. I mean, there's definitely some nervousness. I'm not a risk taker at all, so that's not natural to me to go, oh sure, just take money out of our house and spend it on plastic. Why not? So
what's the worst that could happen?
Right, like that was not at all how I felt. So I know we had multiple conversations, I'm sure, about why this was going to be a good thing and what our plan B was going to be if this didn't pan out, or what's our escape routes? Like, what if you buy all this stuff and it doesn't sell? I mean, we still have these conversations, right? Where I'm like, do you know that you spent this many thousands of dollars on X item, and like, do we need that many?
Usually the answer is yes.
So, I mean, I don't know. I think we do a good job of communicating in general through that kind of stuff, where look at it like my job to poke holes in things and look for where things are going to fail and ask that question. And then you do a pretty good job of convincing me that we're going to be okay. Whatever. This is my plan. This is, we have these things in place.
Right.
And
right.
I never felt like you were just wasting money or doing it willy-nilly, so that always helps. I think in one of your videos way back when you talked about trust, like that I must trust you, that you're not just gonna waste all of our money.
Apparently. Cool. So let's talk about what you do now a bit, because you basically do all the stuff that, like, we joke about it sometimes, but you do basically all the stuff I don't want to do.
Yeah.
But you also kind of do the things that I'm not good at, and I guess really the things I don't have time. We do balance it. So what, in your own words, what do you do for Mecha Warehouse? Like, what are all the things that you do? Because you do a lot, and I probably don't even remember half the things you do, because it's stuff that you kind of...
taking the things off your plate that I feel like stress you out the most, but are in my wheelhouse, and things that I would like to help out with and can help out with. So, yeah, I mean, whether that was lugging a few boxes here and there back in the early days and checking stuff in.
Cool workout.
Yeah. That was good for a while. I'm kind of glad we don't have to do it anymore. But yeah, I mean, it was fun, like, doing the organizing to get everything to fit in the attic. Like, that was fun to me. It was just the space problem, and I don't know, organizing things is fun because I'm weird like that.
Right.
But organizing data and, like, spreadsheets, and if my job is to poke holes in things and ask questions, and what about the finances, like, I want to see, like, what's coming in and what's going out, and, like, analyze those patterns and try to track everything. And so that's kind of, I guess, how we got down this rabbit hole where I track the orders that are coming in. I try to keep track of all the stuff that's on order so that what we already have on order, what needs to be ordered, how you can make your decisions. So I feel like I'm supporting you doing that. Invoices, making sure everything matches. So yeah, I like seeing the numbers match, and putting everything in. Data entry, like, also my jam, because I'm weird. I don't know. I like sitting there tapping on numbers and getting to the bottom of the list and feeling like everything's in and it's neat and it's tidy and it makes sense. And when it doesn't make sense, I will hunt it down and find where I went wrong. And I don't know. Yeah. So
let's transition this. So what's the best thing and the worst thing for, I guess, working at Mecha Warehouse? I guess technically, I guess you work at, I don't know, it's a weird thing to say because you're not technically an employee, but...
Well, I still get, like, really nervous when you turn to me and you're like, what did you do, like, last night?
I get nervous when he does
I know. I'm like, all right. So, I don't know, that's still kind of, like, terrifying that I'm going to screw something up, right? And that it's not just my employer that's going to be disappointed, it's my husband, and I don't want you to be disappointed in me. So, I guess that would kind of be the worst thing. It's just there's a little bit of fear all the time. Like, I make sure.
Great. I was going to think of a fear-mongering, iron-fisted.
No, but most of the time, I mean, that's the best thing, too, is that I think you do a good job of making me feel like I'm part of this and I'm important to getting you where you need to go. And that this is happening and it's successful and, like, it's cool. I mean, just on a daily basis, I can see, like, all right, I got this invoice in and that felt good. I can check something off my list, but also, like, where we've come over the years and stuff. Yeah. It's just been really...
It's been so fast.
Cool to see that and that we're doing it together and making it happen.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So for all the other interviews, I was asking everybody about, like, all these, like, background kind of questions, because, like, Dylan and Orion, they're both, builders long before I was a builder. I think is kind of what I found. And you're the on the other end, right? You built because of the business, really, more than anything.
Yeah.
So what got you built a few kits now? What got you building a kit? What was your impetus to start building?
Well, they were just everywhere, right? Like, it's kind of hard to miss when they're all over your house. Yeah, I don't know. I spent a lot of time in that attic at 1 a.m., like unboxing things and moving stuff around. And you tend to just look around like, what is this thing that I'm handling? So there was some curiosity that came with that. I mean, you obviously thought it was cool, so it's worth checking it out. I sort of
basically
adopt all of your hobbies.
Only got like one holdout so far, so.
Yeah. So.
Maybe that's why I keep starting new hobbies.
Trying to get away from me.
No, I'm just trying to find something that you don't do yet.
Something that's just yours.
Yeah, and it's not many.
Yeah.
Requires.
Yeah, so for this particular guy over here, I can remember like walking around the attic and just kind of meandering like, what should I build? If I were to pick something that I wanted to build, what would it be? Because the first thing that I built was the Sarah. Right,
the petite guy.
Yeah, and that was like a birthday gift before I really knew anything about anything. I don't know. It's like, what is this? What do I do with this? I guess I'm going to try it. She was cute, so it was a good start. Yep. And then I kind of wanted to try something a little different, a little more like actual robot with guns. Sounded cool. I don't know, I just kind of looked around to see what looked cool. And was simple because I wanted something to like ease myself in.
Sure.
Assuming that I'm just going to like take over your hobby someday, clearly. So
I worry sometimes about my backlog, especially where we don't have the warehouse to just pull it. Like the warehouse isn't in our house anymore, so it's not like, oh no, you can go grab this. It's like stand there looking at the backlog, like, oh, that looks cool.
Yeah, you never know.
What's mine?
I looked at a bunch of like the IBO kits and stuff.
Right.
I don't know, nothing really jumped out at me, but these seemed like they were kind of on the easier end and looked cool. Met my main criteria there, so I figured I'd try it out. I think you had a damaged one or something that you kind of tossed me like, hey, what about this one? Do you like this? I said, I like it. I like the green. It looks cool. Let's build it. And I think this is also the guy's leg, right? This is the leg from the stream.
This is the leg, the little leg. When my stream asked my wife to show a little leg. The pride of Mrs. Mecha on completing a leg is just great.
You know how long it's taken me to get back to this robot?
Can we see the leg? Are you guys asking me to tell my wife to show a little leg? Is that what's happening here? It was one of these legs. Do you remember if it's left or right?
No. No.
What's your favorite Gundam series? Of which
Sei and Reiji, all the way.
So Build Fighters.
Yeah.
Okay. You heard it here first, folks. And then second to last one here, what's your favorite mobile suit? Not that you know. The camera's that way. Just, that facial expression would have been perfect.
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay. And
I like the characters, I think, and the stories more so than the actual suits, but I don't know. Maybe that's the wrong thing to say.
We'll find out. If there's pitchforks in the air, pitchforks and torches on Tuesday, we'll know.
I mean, there's some cool ones. I just don't remember them. Like, I don't write them down or like, I don't know.
That's okay.
Half the time I don't know what they're called, and so.
It's okay. I still love you.
Thank you.
And then the last question on my list, and this will be an interesting one. What's the best new thing that you learned about gunpla since starting? Starting here, I think, more than anything, but which is basically since starting.
New thing that I've learned.
Like what's the coolest thing that you learned about gunpla? Building it, certain tools, certain aspects of the hobbies, or whatever, anything. I
don't know. I'm curious about painting, but I haven't really started that yet, so that's a whole thing.
I guess that's all I've got, so thank you for sitting down with me. Thank you for all the help, and I couldn't have done it without you.
I'm here for
Try not to cry on camera here.
You're welcome.